What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and today we are talking about a few new cards, including one of my new support for one of my favorite archetypes, the Charmer archetype. And then we got Marincess and some cards from the new Albaz structure deck. So let's get into the first card, which is the Dharc, the Dharc Charmer Umbral. And this one is probably the most powerful. So I'll sum it up real fast. It's any two monsters, including a Dharc, and then you can target a Dharc monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to the zone this card points to. And then, if this link summon card is destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect, while it is in the owner's monster zone, you can add a Dharc monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Now, Dharc is has the most types in the game. It is the most powerful and has the most support, and usually a Dharc deck of some sort ends up being meta. Or at least, a good tier 2 deck. Most decks have a Dharc monster of sorts in them, and so this is almost always gonna be live for that first effect, and the second effect is gonna search you out most of your monsters in like a lot of different decks. There's a lot of Dharc monsters with 0 defense and all that, and a lot of monsters have 1500 or less defense for Dharc monsters specifically. So overall, this is the best one, and I can see this card, being a one of or two of in like almost every deck moving forward, especially if we get some type of tier 0 Dharc deck and everything that can make use of this. So that's pretty cool. Definitely a very powerful card, even though it doesn't look like much. It is, because of these two effects are very, very relevant, and like I said, Dharc is the most popular type in the game. Next up, we got Marincess support, Marincess Springirl. I don't know a lot about this archetype, if I'm being honest, so we're gonna just kind of judge the cards individually, because I don't really play against this deck that much. But it's a level 4, 1200 attack, 1000 defense, water cyber monster. Its first and second effects are this card's names are once per turn. You banish Marincess from your monster, special summon this card from your hand. Okay, special summon itself. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a water link monster, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Marincess monsters you control, and inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Marincess card sent by this card, sent to the graveyard by this effect. I think this card's pretty good. It's just like a free monster at the end of the day. And it fuels your graveyard. Pretty good card. Next up, Marincess Sleepy Maiden, Water Cyberse effect, level 5, 500 attack, 2500 defense. You can target one Marincess card you control, special summon this card, and if you do, it gains this effect. That target cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effect while this card is in the monster zone. You can banish this card from your graveyard and then target one Marincess Link monster you control. Equip one Marincess Link monster from your graveyard to that target. Oh, that's right. This deck kind of link climbs, right? And equips. That's what this deck does. Yeah, this card's fine. It summons itself. That's pretty much it. It's like free link material. And it allows you to, equip your Marincess Link monsters from your graveyard, and they do tend to, I believe, I played this deck like literally once and then like never played it again because I didn't know really what I was doing. But I'm pretty sure you're like supposed to link climb with this deck and equip a bunch of stuff. So, if that's the case, then this card's really, really good. Next up, we got Marincess Aqua Argonaut, level 4 Water Cyberse effect link, 2300 attack. Its arrows are up, down, left, right. And its second and third effects are hard once per turn each. Your opponent cannot attack other monsters while this card is in the extra monster zone. Second effect, you can target one water monster you control and one card your opponent controls, return them to the hand. That affects all right. When a spell or trap is activated during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special summon a Marincess monster equipped to this card, and if you do, negate that effect. So it's a built-in negate as well. Very, very good. It's disruption, and on top of that, you can negate something with this, and then you'll have a water monster to bounce as well. So you have more disruption. It kind of fuels itself in that way. Very cool card for the deck nonetheless. Moving on to Marincess Dive. It's a normal spell card. You can only activate one card of this card's name per turn. You can activate one of the following effects, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except after this card resolves, except for water monsters. You can target one non-link Marincess monster excuse me, in your graveyard, special summon it, or if a Marincess Battle Ocean is in your field zone, you can special summon one Marincess monster from your deck. Needless to say, it's a monster reborn. It's a summon from the deck. You're going to play this probably at 3. Very, very powerful card. Marincess Circulation is our first trap card of these new support, and it states if you control a Link 3 or higher Marincess monster, you can activate this card from your hand. You can target one Water Link monster you control, return to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon one Marincess Link monster from your extra deck with the same Link rating but a different name. But this turn, it cannot attack directly, and it also cannot be destroyed by battle. This is treated as a Link summon. So, what makes this card okay? This card, the best thing that this card can do is you can hold this in your hand so you don't have to worry about Harpy's Feather Duster or anything like that. And then on top of that, if your opponent tries to get rid of your Water Link monster, your Marincess Water Link specifically, you activate this from your hand and then get it out of there, and then summon, something else. Very cool card. I don't know if you play this card or not, but you can activate it from the hand because of this line of text, most likely. So I think that, it might be worth considering. But I'm no Marincess player, so you guys can let me know in the comment section below if I'm an idiot or not. Next up, and I think that's the last for the Marincess support. Yeah, the rest are reprints. Marincess Bubble Ring. Normal trap card. Activate one card with this card's name per turn. When a monster declares an attack, negate that attack. And if you do, special summon one Marincess Crystal Heart from your extra deck or graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target one Marincess Link monster you control. This turn, its maximum number of attacks per battle phase equal its Link rating, but your opponent takes no battle damage involving it. So this card is interesting. I don't really like the first effect, but the graveyard effect is actually pretty decent, because what you're doing with it is you're not obviously pushing for game. What you're doing is you're trying to break the board, and this kind of helps do that. So what this allows you to do is you banish, you banish this, get your Link, target your Link 4 here, 2300 attack, and maybe, you have ways to buff up its attack, and then you just, attack for your opponent's monsters to clear the board. That's kind of what the idea is. I don't think this one is as good as the other one, but like I said, I don't play this deck, and let me know in the comment section down below how good this Marincess card is. And last but not least is the structure deck, and we're not going to really talk about the reprints. We are going to just talk about the new cards. I might scroll through the reprints to see if there's anything like notable. But if there's not, I'm just not going to mention them. Alright, so for the first new support, we got Tri-Brigade Mercourier, a Dark Winged Beast level 4 effect. First and second effects of this card's name are hard once per turn each. When your opponent activates a monster effect and you control a fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as a material quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, negate that effect. Second effect states, if this card becomes banished, you can add one Fallen of Albaz or one monster that lists that monster in its text from your deck to your hand, except for itself. I think this card is really, really good. This deck seems like it's a dark deck, and if that is the case, playing 3 Allure Darknesses means this is just pure value. Draw 2, banish this, get your Fallen of Albaz or monster that lifts it. On top of that, it's a hand trap, so when you fusion summon and have a fusion monster, this also has a negation as well. So, if your opponent tries to use a monster effect, that's going to either start the combo off, or, and this will stop it, or it's going to get rid of your link or your fusion monster. You just discard this and negate that effect. It's a good hand trap. It's a searchable hand trap in this deck as well, and so I think you run this. It also doesn't target, so that's the advantage it has over, say, like Effect Veiler. So, pretty good card. We're gonna move on to Springans Kitt, Dharc, level 4 Beast effect. 1700 attack, 1000 defense. Its first and second effects are hard ones for turns each. If you have a fusion monster that lists the Fallen of Albaz as material on your field or in your graveyard, you special summon this card from your hand. If this is normal or special summon, you can add one of your branded spell or trap cards that is banished or in the deck or graveyard to your hand. Then place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. So this gets you your one of your spell and trap cards, and it also special summons itself from the hand. Pretty good. Also is a dark, so woo. Oh, next card's a light. But it is a chaos deck. See, I obviously don't know enough about these, but this card seems pretty good. Adds a card back, and then if you have a card, then you just plus one back. It'd be better if it's just added, but it is what it is. Unlikely Swordsoul allies. Level 4 light spellcaster tuner effect with a 1800 attack, 1500 defense. You only use the second effect of this card's name per turn. Once per turn. First effect states when a monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate the attack. Then, if you control a fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as material, you can destroy the attacking monster. Second effect states, if a monster becomes banished face up, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard to special summon one light spellcaster monster whose attack equals its own defense from your deck to your hand. Maybe, I don't know what one that gets. Maybe that's Fallen of Albaz. I know that that's a different, I don't know what the deck does exactly, but maybe it's that. If that's so, that's pretty neat. It can get that. Maybe if that is what it is, that'd be cool. But it's only from your hand or graveyard. But it is kind of a Monster Reborn. It's an interesting card. Like I said, I don't know which ones this gets exactly, so that's kind of a hard card to evaluate. But we're gonna move on to our last new card, Paradise Branded. So its second effect can only be used once per turn. The activation of your cards and effects that include the fusion summons a monster. The activation of your cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned this way. If you fusion summon a fusion monster, you can add one Fallen of Albaz or one monster that lists that card in its text from your deck to your hand. So this card is what you fusion summon and you get your Fallen of Albaz or any one of your cards. So this is your search card as well as your protection card for when you fuse. Pretty decent card nonetheless. Let's just scroll down and see if any of the reprints are notable. They're alright. So that's going to do it for this video. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. And if you want to send meaningful deck profiles or replays, my email is in the description. I would love to see them. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.